Thanks, Brad.
Well, good morning. We are so thrilled to be here for the 10th Global Energy Forum. And Sheikh Nawaf, I think we should give you a pin because you were at the original Global Energy Forum in
I was.
November 20. Oh, no, it was in, is it January in Abu Dhabi?
Yes. Yes, I was.
I mean, so you are the all-star of the Global Energy Forum. So we have so little time. We have 24 minutes on the shot clock. I wanted to start the conversation with sort of where are we now? I mean, where are we in terms of the supply disruption? How is the situation in Kuwait? We've all been following the stories about what's been happening in Kuwait. Like, can you just scene set for us, like where we are?
Thank you, Halima. I'll start off with two words. We in Kuwait have always been both defiant and resilient. Um, we have faced adversity like very few countries have in the past. Have as recently as 1990 with a full-scale invasion occupation. We have faced attacks by Iran in the 1980s on our shipping, with terrorist attacks in Kuwait. We continue to face now attacks from Iran and its proxies, not only on military assets, U.S. military assets that are based in Kuwait, but on civilian infrastructure in Kuwait, the oil industry in Kuwait, office buildings in Kuwait. And throughout all of that, we remain defiant in who we are. We will not cower before any of that. And also at the same time, resilient. And we have adapted how we do business, adapted how we work with our partners around the world. We've, from KPC's perspective, for example, being lodged all the way up into the northwest part of the Gulf with no access, direct access outside the Strait of Hormuz. We have had to react differently in how we do our business. We've leaned on our trading arm to ensure that our customers around the world remain as well supplied as we can make them. And we've relied on our storage that we have planned for before the war even started. One of the things we did as we saw that this war was about to commence was bring all of our tanker fleet back to Kuwait, deplete all of our storage in Kuwait, and push as much product out through the strait before the war commenced. Now we are in a position where it's a longer war than we or anybody really anticipated at first. So all of those steps that we took to begin with are now sort of reaching the end, and we need to plan for the future.
Speaking of the future, the question I have, and a lot of people have, is sort of how does this end and how should it end?
There's only one way for it to end, and the end has to be that, from our perspective, that there is a recognition and a respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of every state in the Gulf, and that there is a free, open transit passage through the strait. We've heard, 3, 4, 5 times now already, pronouncements that the strait is open again, only to understand that a definition of open means with tolls, with restrictions, and a bunch of things that are in clear violation of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. And that cannot happen. I think we are in complete alignment. I know Secretary Wright is going to be here just after us. I met with him yesterday, and we were in complete alignment that the strait must be open for free, safe navigation for all in accordance with international law. Now, how does that end, and how do you get there?
Right.
I think there has to be an understanding, that any outcome, any deal that is done has to include these two pillars. And I think that is now becoming more and more clear. Now, as the international community feels the pressure of the continued interdiction of free navigation through the Gulf, you have, especially in Asia, something like 73 or so percent, 77% of Asia's oil comes through the strait. More alarmingly is more than 80% of its natural gas flows through the strait. All of that has been interdicted. Obviously, from oil, there's been offsets that have come from Saudi Emirati pipelines, various systems, but not complete offsets. They're only partial. But from the natural gas perspective, natural gas coming from Qatar, it's been zero. The U.S. has tried to make up for some portion of that, but obviously it's not enough. The entire system has two pillars that we all have to understand within the system, and that is we are all codependent and co-reliant. There's no such thing as energy independence. As much as you will hear, even here in the United States, that the U.S. is now and has been for some period of time a net exporter of oil, that does not mean that the United States is isolated from the rest of the world or from the international market. You still actually import physically the oil that you consume and export quite a bit of the shale production just because refineries aren't equipped to handle it. The physical attributes of the barrel dominate how we address this situation, and that means that we have to continue to work together. And the Atlantic Council and Fred very artfully hosted a Europe Gulf forum just a few weeks ago in Greece, and themes coming out of that were that they picked up really on the codependent, co-reliant aspects to really understand that Europe, as much as European countries are saying that they are not a party to this war and don't want anything to do with it, still are recognizing that they are very much affected by the reactions, especially from Iran, against safe passage through the Gulf and through the Strait. So action has to be on a multilateral basis, on an international basis, and I think we're starting to see some of that happening. And you're seeing that with movements, especially of European assets into the region, with the aim of ensuring safe passage through the strait.
One of the questions we have is so many people in the market look up at the price of oil and say, it's not such a big deal. We're managing through. Do you have a concern that there's sort of complacency in the system, that people think the status quo is sort of sustainable?
It's absolutely not sustainable. What is happening right now is the markets have been buffered with SPR releases, with some demand destruction that's happened. But this is, and I hesitate, I don't even want to use the word destruction on this. It is not actually destruction of demand. It is a pause in demand, because just like in COVID, when you had a collapse almost in
Right.
worldwide demand, none of that was really destroyed, because as soon as everything opened up, demand went back immediately to pre-COVID levels, immediately within a few months, to pre-COVID levels, and then continued to rise. So it was almost a pause. Now, this is what we're seeing right now as well, that all of this, and in the markets, if you look at $100 oil right now, it is comparatively not that high. Lots of you here will recognize that it was $100 in 2008, 2009, which with inflation now would be somewhere around $160, $162. So it is actually comparatively not as high as one would expect it. But when you draw down your safety buffers on the SPR, not only the United States' Strategic Petroleum Reserve, but also Europe's, China's as well. When you're drawing down the buffer as well. So every barrel you're actually You pulling out of the SPR is one less barrel you're going to have available to you if this drags on for much longer. Another thing to keep in mind is how much oil is actually extractable from the SPR. And we all recognize that every storage tank has dead volume at the bottom of it. And that can be sediment, it can be water, it could be various other things. So our storage facilities, for example, in Kuwait, I know that even though they may be full at a certain level, not all of that is extractable and sellable. And that is one of the things, and I've seen numbers on US SPR, when you start reaching sort of that dead zone. We need to keep in mind all of that, and at the same time understand that with 20 million barrels that used to flow through the strait on a daily basis, we have offsets from Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, of call it what, 6-7 million, call it 8 million, and some leakage here and there. So you still have, let's say, about 10 million still not being replaced. The Chinese being able to, and all SPR releases, by the way, they only account for about, what, 3.5 million barrels a day of production. So don't look at the headline number of saying that the release is 400 and something million barrels coming out of the SPR. It's not coming at a rate faster than 3.5 million barrels a day. So again, against the backdrop of trying to replace that remaining 10 or 12 million barrels, it's not going to make that big of a dent. There is no substitute whatsoever to free, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
And Sheikh Nawaf, the question that follows from that is, obviously the Iranians continue to say that they will exercise operational control. So does that mean there has to be a more stepped up effort led to basically end that situation?
I will defer to my military colleagues to be able to describe what they can and can't do in that process. But I do hearken back to the 1980s when Iran had attacked Kuwaiti shipping, brought Kuwaiti oil sales almost down to zero because they were hitting Kuwaiti tankers plying the Gulf. And we reflagged those tankers to US, Italian, French, Dutch, and British flags, along with the Soviet at the time. And all of those navies escorted the tankers up and down the Gulf, and the passage was reopened. And it was reopened when it took one or two skirmishes at first for Iran to recognize that this is an international waterway. There is, as I said, more consensus building in the world that we can't sit and wait for this to resolve. I think there's a greater consensus, a greater likelihood that we'll have to take active steps to resolve it.
And the other sort of theme that we keep hearing is that when this ends, we're going to have a new focus on energy security, new pipelines, more emphasis on storage next to customers. Like, how do we come back better from this?
We come back better by recognizing that, as I said, energy independence is a meaningless concept, and we can't plan for that. You can't achieve that. When you recognize that you are codependent and co-reliant, you recognize then you have to work together, and that's what we're starting to, and that's what we're doing within the Gulf right now. One of the things, by the way, I thought quite interesting is that when we took our production levels down at the beginning of the war, carefully and methodically, down to what is only required for local consumption in Kuwait, because we couldn't export anything. We realized we were still refining some products and we still had product available, and that there was actually a pretty good market for it within the Gulf, whether it was Saudi Arabia or Qatar, the Emirates, even Bahrain. We were happy to have transactions, and we were selling product within the Gulf. Obviously, none of it we could export out of the Gulf, but we're selling product right within the Gulf. And at the same time, we were importing LNG from Qatar. So there was this mini economy, if you will, of sales of energy going on in the Gulf. And then we're building from that, and a recognition now that we are in discussions with our brothers in Saudi Arabia and in the Emirates to look at how to expand the pipeline system that they have to accommodate Kuwaiti barrels coming out. So, as you know, we all hear the statement, facts are stubborn things. Well, geography is pretty stubborn as well. It's tough for us to change our geography. So we are doing it through a collective vision through the Gulf Cooperation Council. So the GC states are working together better than we have in quite some time, and really looking at how to address these situations collectively. So there is, for example, a mechanism within the GCC that says, well, if one country can't export, another has capacity, then they'll export on their behalf and sort of tally it up afterwards. Obviously, now nobody has that capacity. So instead, we're working, as I said, with our brethren to look at pipeline capacity to grow that out. But of course, when you look at pipelines, they are only as safe as the export facility at the end of it.
Right.
And you've seen how Iran has targeted both the Saudi and the Emirati pipelines, and how that's been effective to certain degrees. A long pipeline needs compression, so hit one node of that compression, you've got to rebuild that. The easiest thing to rebuild or to replace is a pipe itself. You hit the pipe, I'd have it working tomorrow. But you hit a compression facility, that takes more time. And then the worst is if you hit the export facility.
Right.
Because then the pipeline essentially is useless. Right. And we've got to work together with our partners, and this is where we have a strong relationship with the United States, with European countries, to improve the air defense network to cover critical infrastructure that has been targeted. And that's the collective vision that we all have to have.
And how long will the restarts take? I know there are going to be varying restarts across the Gulf, but we had one journalist come out in the last couple of days and saying it's going to be just weeks. There's going to be a flood of crude on the market in a couple of weeks.
Well, within Kuwait, we can get back very quickly. In fact, within Kuwait, we can get to 80% of our shut-in production in less than a month, probably about 3 weeks. That's because we have resilient reservoirs. We have reservoirs that in fact have benefited to a certain extent now from the shut-in, because it's allowed them to settle and recharge essentially the underground pressure. But at the same time, the last bit is always the hardest, and that's still about 20%. That's going to be for us. That's going to be for almost every country in the region. That last bit of 20% probably will take us 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So 20% of, let's say, the 20 million that was flowing out is still about 4 million barrels. That's 4% of worldwide demand. That is still significant.
Right.
So that is going to take some time.
And I want to bring it back in our closing minutes about Kuwait. I had such a great opportunity to visit Kuwait end of January, beginning of February for your great Kuwait oil and gas show, where you really talked about all of the new initiatives on the investment side that are taking place in Kuwait. Can you sort of walk us through where you stand on that?
We are, part of our defiance is that we are continuing to move very quickly, seriously, and methodically on our 2 major projects that we announced in that conference. The first being a project called Peregrine, which takes on after the Falcon in the Kuwait Oil Company logo. But also, it's a project by which we will lease back our export pipelines to international investors. So it'll be the largest international investment in Kuwait thus far. We launched that project on February 27th. Timing it was not exactly we didn't get the timing exactly right on that one. But a few weeks after that, sometime in mid-March, I talked to our financial advisors on this project, who said you may consider pausing this project given current circumstances. Obviously, the project relies on our production and export. And they said, well, you're not producing, you're not exporting, so it's probably not a good idea to ask companies to bid aggressively for this project. Instead, I talked to the CEOs of the major investors looking at this project, and they said, look, if we have a problem with this, we'll give you a call. It's the relationship that we have with Kuwait. It's the decades-long relationship that we have. We'll give you a call if there's an issue. I got a call 4 days before the initial bids were due, non-binding bids still, from one of the CEOs and I said, oh, this is going to be tough. And he said, I know I promised you I'd call you. I'm calling you right now. But I'm calling you to tell you the following, that we looked at this. We are bidding more aggressively than we have in previous transactions that were done before the war. We are bidding on the assumption that this war never happened and that production has never been interdicted. This is our conviction in the ability of KPC to recover, and it's our conviction in the ability and in the resilience of Kuwait itself. So that was a fantastic vote of confidence, and we're moving forward on that project, and we'll get to final bids within the next few weeks. The other project that we announced is Project SEAF. SEAF, Arabic word for coastline, and that is a project by which we are inviting international oil companies, the majors, to Kuwait to invest with us in the development of our offshore fields. We've been producing oil onshore Kuwait for over 8 decades. Every drop of oil that we've produced in Kuwait has been onshore. And we went recently to the offshore. The offshore in Kuwait is about a third of the landmass of Kuwait, and it's just as prolific from a hydrocarbons perspective. We drilled 4 wells offshore. All 4 of them were major discoveries. That is, batting 1,000 like you'd never see in any exploration company around the world. And that has been a driving force now for us as we continue in that project. It's very early in its nascent stages right now. We're nowhere near concluding that project, but the reaction that we've received from the international oil companies is identical to the one that we received from the financial investors on Peregrine. And it's been that we have confidence in what Kuwait is doing. We have confidence in the reforms that Kuwait has built out, and in the leadership that we want to invest in. We want to be part of this growth story.
Well, we are now at 0 on the shot clock. One last thought, and we can make it quick, but you've been with us for so many of these events. It's such seminal moments. You're sitting on the stage at the 11th Global Energy Forum. What do you hope we're talking about, and what would concern you what conversation do you not want to be having a year from now?
The conversation or the messages I hope I'd be giving if I were fortunate enough to be here next year is that a thank you to the world community, the international community, for ensuring the respect for international law. As I said it right at the beginning of my remarks, Kuwait, especially almost as much as any other country, and more so, is beholden to the protections and effects of international law, and we will continue to do that into the future. So a year from now, I would hope to say that international law is respected and enforced and implemented throughout the Gulf, and that we are looking and partnering seriously with countries around the world. And I do want to recognize 2 ministers, His Excellency the Minister from Syria and the Excellency the Minister from Egypt, who are both looking to be part of the solution as well, to have access for hydrocarbons out of the Gulf to offer resilience in that, even in that supply network.
Well, Sheikh Nawaf, we are very excited to have you back next year. I'm already taking Fred's job, making the invites already. And so with that, I will bring this opening session to a close. Thank you
very
so
much.
much. And Fred Kemp, back over to you.